Lucid here. If you haven't been watching me on Twitch, you're probably surprised to see me, but fret not, I have not forgot about you on YouTube. Season 4 is now upon us, so this is a great time to jump back into it to get you the information you need to get your Guardian Druid goals on par. Season 4 is now live, and the scramble has begun to re-gear for the great content drought between expansions. In this video, I'm going to be talking about stat priority, gearing, embellishments, our tier set, and lastly, the adjusted flag and base hitting builds. Looking first at stat priority, once again it will be agility, then versatility, mastery, then haste, and lastly crit. The big takeaway here is at the end of the expansions, we largely see stat bloat, and across the board this heavily affects versatility for all classes in PvP, and why you largely hear 30% verse is a sweet spot. That's because 30 to 39 there is a 10% penalty, 39 to 47 there is a 20% penalty, 47 to 54 a 30% penalty, and it goes on. I bring this up because our most important stat for Guardian as a whole is mastery, due to it directly affecting our mitigation let alone our health pool. So for example right now in Honor Gear, at the start of Season 4, my Guardian has 51% versatility after 3 tiers of diminishing returns, which I could have reallocated to more mastery, followed by haste, which is going to make crafting gear very important towards maximizing your ability to survive in a fight. This is going to be even more compounded when you add the additional verse of conquest gear, which will certainly put you into the 40% penalty bracket, which is a lot of wasted stats. Speaking of gearing, Honor Gear this season will be 515 and Conquest will be 528, with the option to buy Draconic crafted gear from the auction house at an eye level of 502. If you've saved up your Honor from last season, just make sure to avoid the crit versions of said gear. During the first week, you will also be able to accumulate one Awakened Spark via questing and PvP to craft a level 528 PvP item, and be able to accumulate half a spark every week moving forward. Continuing with gear, the Revival Catalyst will be returning and generating 1 charge for tier every week, allowing you to get 2 set the first week if you push hard and get your Guardian to 1600 CR to unlock the Mark of Mastery, which has returned from the previous seasons. When redeeming the latter, be sure to select the PvP version of the set, and also remember the tier bonus is only on the head, chest, legs, gloves, and shoulders. Wrapping up general crafting, previous to the past seasons, you will receive a quest when you win a PvP match for the first time that will give you 2 free Draconic trophies that are usable to craft PvP gear with the appropriate stat priority that standard conquest gear doesn't provide you. When it does come to crafting that PvP gear, make sure you are placing your allotted 2 embellishments. For this season, I am looking at running double blue silken lining, which stacks to maximize being a health sponge for those larger hits before I can get my defensives up. It's also of note that Flaring Cow may still be a viable option for those tanks on base hitting maps who struggle to spin a node. In the past, it would apply its AoE damage even through Cyclone, although to reiterate, at this time I haven't tested it this season. Looking at the other enchantments, you want to make sure you are running the following on screen. Moving on to our tier set, as mentioned, we have returned to our Season 2 set, which was the best for this expansion. It gives us an increase to damage, rage generation, and a heal over time for our 2 set, as well as an easy to maintain increase to our health via our 4 set. Albeit, it's still 50% reduced effectiveness in PvP as usual. When it does come to selecting your tier, do not use the Helm as it is the worst stat priority for Guardian. With the change of our tier set, the bursty nature of this expansion, and incoming stat bloat, our build changes towards more survivability, ensuring we don't fall over instantly. But because in case you've missed it in my previous videos, Guardian mitigation takes time to get up, which means we have to use defenses proactively. This leads us heading back into the arcane side of the tree for what I'm going to call the standard base sitting and flag carrying builds. But I will also include a second flag carrying build if you come across a melee cleave team, which will give you more bang for your buck. I'm going to go ahead and pull these up for you to go over real quick, but if you have any questions, just drop me a comment or come find me on stream and I'll be happy to help. The nice thing going into the builds for this season is the Guardian side of the tree is largely not going to change. The whole premise is going to be built around getting Moonfires put out to get damage reduction, and then giving you an additional defensive. As previously discussed, one of the failings of the Guardian is actually dealing with magical damage, so by adding a Lunar Beam, we're actually giving ourselves a buff via our mastery to increase our health to help survive some of those larger bursts for that magic damage. Where we will end up seeing changes, though, when it comes to between your base hitting and your flag carrying is going to be in the druid side of the tree. So at the moment, what we have going on here is we're going into Rip, as well as Feline Swiftness for the increased movement speed, and then on top of that, the Tireless Pursuit, just so we can maintain speed while shifting forms. And then also, you can't really see it right now, but down here we have Protector of the Pack. We're also going to be taking that to maximize our Dream of Scenarios proc over here. Also, a couple things to consider when looking at the druid side of things. If you have the opportunity to flap on a flag carrying map, you'd want to consider taking points away and going into get Moon Queen form so you can flap. Or even if they have a rogue on the other team, you'd probably want to consider taking Remove Corruption just so you can deal with the slows and reduction of healing. Looking now at the base hitting build, Guardian aspect of the tree does not change. So looking at focusing on getting the Moonfires out and having that extra defensive of Lunar Beam. Where we do see the changes, however, are going to be on the druid side. So we're going down into Cyclone to have that extra utility, and going down into Astral Influence via the Moonkin side, just so we have those increased range in our ability to spin. Lastly, as made mention of, I have a second flag carrying build here for you. I would only really recommend this one if you're going into a heavy melee group, as you're really just focusing on trying to build up your Ursoc's Fury via Flashing Claws and just giving you that bigger shield. It's going to be the most familiar with what the builds you have done previously in these past couple seasons with me. Alright, y'all, that is going to be it for your Season 4 Guardian update. If you've liked this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, because I am still the small man on YouTube, and it helps me go places. And by go places, it means to help more Guardians. So please help me, help them, help us. The season's at an end, but there's going to be a lot more opportunities going into the expansion. That all aside, though, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.